Good morning. Want to figure out your posture? Do you stand up straight? Do you hunch over? Do you even know where your neutral is? Let's go over a couple exercises we can do standing to figure out that balance. So come on over, and you're going to start with your heels together, toes apart, a fist width apart for the toes. The reason we do this is if your knees hyperextend, we want to make sure that you're not hyperextending. So by keeping the heels together, it keeps the knees honest. From here, just simply think about pelvic rocking. You can take your hands, thumbs onto your ribs, which are right here, your lowest rib set. It's called your floating rib. And then your middle fingers find your hip bones. They're called the ASIS bones. And just simply rock forward onto the balls of your feet. And I'll show you my side view so you can really see. So you're almost tucking and scooping under. And then inhale, lean back towards the heels. So you're slightly arching the back. Exhaling to tuck, inhaling to arch. Start to look for your center, where you're not overly tucked or overly arched, but where your feet are balanced. Both sides of your toes, your heels equally weighted, and squeezing gently through your midline so that you can keep the stomach connected. Think about your body as having 3 diaphragms. As you breathe in, feel it come up through the pelvic floor, the ribs, the throat. As you breathe out, feel it come out the throat, the ribs, the pelvic floor. You're going to inhale 1, 2, 3, and exhale 3, 2, 1. Think of these almost as saucers. You're stacking one on top of the other. As you inhale, they lengthen. And as you exhale, they come down and together, pulling length into the neck and lifting from the smile of the butt. You'll start to feel this breathing pattern and this imagery allowing your body to stack right along your spine. Inhaling up and exhaling down. Now, if that does not resonate for you, what you can also think about, putting the hands on the ribs. As you inhale, once you've figured out this posture, let your ribs expand. And as you exhale, let them contract, but not to the point where you go like this. You want to think opening the ribs and closing. Try to keep your pelvis stable. Inhale to expand, exhale to close. Now keep it closed. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, feel both triangles of the rib cage pulling together. Imagine now your legs are the base of a martini glass. Your head is the olive that sits right on top. You're simply going to pull the ribs down and together to make that beautiful triangle where you're not overly arched in the back or overly rounded through the front. So find that center. Now you'll know if you're there because when you push through the feet, you go straight up. A lot of times what I see in posture is people doing this, throwing their shoulders back. That used to be what everyone said, put your shoulders back, put your shoulders back. But do you see how that will flare the ribs and cause an arch in the lumbar, the lower back? Pull your stomach in if you find yourself doing this. Connect into the armpit muscles and pull the arms down as opposed to back. Now, sometimes when you have a neck that's here, based on if you look at your phone too much, if you're at your computer, maybe you have a slight hunch. Once you correct this, the neck tends to get all funky. So think about pulling it back gently and lengthening down, like a bobblehead. Your spine goes all the way up to the crown. So keeping that connection is super important. Some of the exercises you can do here are heel lifts. Use your stomach, lift and squeeze. Think about going straight up, and even though your heels are lifted, your weight is still back in the heel as if you were resting on a pillow. And then lower down. Lift up. Think about activating the smile of your butt to lift and lowering down. Now these are your sit bones right back here. Thinking about not pulling them together, but lifting them up So keeping them slightly apart as you continue to do this exercise. Find your center. Once you know your knees aren't locked, you can pivot your heels apart so your feet are in parallel. Think about your pelvis as a basin. In French, it's actually called il bassin. So it's a basin full of water. You want to keep the water from spilling. So you don't want it tilted this way or tilted this way. You want to keep the water resting right at the top. As you go for your squat, think of your sit bones opening. Your knees can float over your toes for now because it's not a true squat, it's not weighted. We're simply bending over slightly. And then exhale, pull those two bones back together, flatten that basin. Inhale, let the water spill out gently through the front, not too much. And then exhale, pull it up. You can put your hands on your sit bones. Inhale, feel them open as you squat back. And exhale, feel them pull back to neutral, not to here, but to here as you come back up. We're not doing anything with pelvic thrusting. That's a different exercise. Today, we're simply looking for neutral. Inhale, let it open. And exhale, pull it back together. You can even add the hands. Let it open. Exhale, pull and lift. Find that position. Feel the arms reaching down. You can go back through the diaphragms to stack the spine if that made sense to you. And then exhaling it down. You can go back into the rib expansion and closing, then pulling those armpits down, pulling up through the back of the neck. You can even stand against a wall and try to make sure the upper back is heavy. There's slight pockets under the lower back, and your butt is against the wall. The back of the ponytail would be squished against the wall. Find that connection. Try to breathe into that connection. Try to lengthen and walk in that connection. Rolling through the feet as you walk, activating the back of the body. So, hope that helps. Enjoy.